Hey everybody, I hope everyone's having a great Sunday evening and I hope they had a wonderful weekend. Well, I'm playing tag. Tammy Yo-Yo Max 12 has tagged me and the tag is two truths and one lie. So, I was worried about coming up with stories because Tammy's stories, that girl's an adventurer. She going to the Arctic and going to Cuba, I've never been nowhere. But I figured up some stories, so now y'all gonna have to guess which one's the lie. Alright, my first story is this. It was before I even met James. And I was working at the Dairy Queen, and I was the night shift manager at the Dairy Queen. And it was a ball game night, and the Dairy Queen was just a hop, skip, and a jump from the football field. And one night, honey, and we was always stayed so busy, and honey, one night a guy come in with, and there was all kinds of people in there. A guy come in with a pair of pantyhose over top of his head and a knife in his hand. And he come in, and I was right at the register. And he come in and wanted me to give him money. And I tell you what, I said no. And I sort of backed off down from the register. And he kept on saying, "Give me your money." And I said no. And honey, the boss, the owner of the place, used to keep a pistol in behind some boxes underneath the counter. And honey, I pulled that pistol out and I aimed it at him. I said, "If you don't get out of here, I'm going to blow your head off." Well, and the whole place was plumb packed. And honey, he run. And somebody eventually did get him. And it turned out to be the owner of the Dairy Queen's, let's see, his son was married to the guy that tried to rob us, his wife's brother. I tell you what, and after it was all over with, I broke down and went crazy and cried and carried on. But I wasn't going to give him that money. No, I wasn't. That was stupid, but that's my first story. My second story is before James and I got married, and we went down to the county seat for some reason. I can't remember what it was about. But for some reason, we couldn't park into town. And so we had to walk around the river, and we walked around the river, and we did what we had to do, and so we was getting ready to go back to the car, and James said, "Let's take a shortcut on this railroad trestle." And so if nobody knows what a railroad trestle is, it's a big iron bridge that has railroad ties hooked in on it, and a train goes across it, and it was across a big wide river. I mean, the main river in the part of my state. And James, well, he grew up around railroad trestles and stuff, and he's walked across them many a time, but I never had. And I want to tell you what, the boards were spaced wide apart. And I was already scared. I was trying my best to get across it, and I was just taking one step at a time. James was just strolling across it like it wasn't nothing. And I heard a train whistle, and I started screaming and crying that I was going to die. And well, unfortunately, the train was for another track, but I didn't know it at the time. And I told James when I got off that trestle, I finally did, I would never do that again. All right, the third story was, in my state, you have to get a blood test to get married. And James and I went down to the local hospital, which was at the county seat again. And I went in there and I got my blood took first. And after I got it took, I stood up and I told James, "I'm going to get me a drink of water. I'm not feeling good." And it was just right outside the doorway there. And James sat down to get his blood took, and I don't remember it, but the next thing I remember is a nurse going with the smelling salts underneath my nose. Apparently James had seen me getting ready to fall, and he jumped up and grabbed me and just laid me on the floor, And so, and I wasn't pregnant. Just so y'all know, no, don't think that now, because I wouldn't. But anyway, after we both got our blood tests and everything, he said, I'm going to take you to the jewelry store. And he took me to the jewelry store, and he let me pick out whatever engagement ring and wedding band I wanted, within reason. So, yeah. Anywho, that's my 3 stories, and see which one you all can pick out which one was the truth and which one was a lie. All right, now, I want to tag everybody. I really do. I want to tag everybody. I want everybody to do it. But I'm going to name a few people that I really want to do it. But everybody's tagged. If you do the video, I would love for you to do it. But I don't feel like, I can tag 50 people. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tag Wolfman0071, Tweakness, Secto Granny. I'm going to tag Misty Neal 28, Mary Jane Slingbacks. Did I say the Blue Flamingo? Yes, I think I did. Jellybean 4501, Creepy Corners, and Bumptious Bob. Those are the people that I want for sure to do the tag. But I tell you what, everybody is welcome to do the tag because I thought it was so fun. All right, I'll come back in a day or two and tell you all the truths and the lies. This is Melissa reporting from up in the holler. Bye, everybody.